I usually try not to exaggerate about things because I'm Cuban and I know we have a tendency to do so, but honestly, I think Snow White might single-handedly ruin Disney's entire 2025.
As Disney's amazing property burns, Rachel Zegler is holding the match. Her bold remarks against the Snow White remake have provoked a boycott and fan outrage that is turning into, "This puts a $300 million bet at risk of failing. Reshoots are in full panic mode, and Zegler's career is in a vulnerable condition." Has Disney finally gone too far with its audience, or is there still hope for this sinking ship?
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by
Rachel Zegler's public comments against the Snow White remake and the original film have drawn heavy criticism from many fans who claim she is demeaning a beloved classic. Instead of embracing her role in Disney's heritage, Zegler alienated people who grew up enjoying the tale by denigrating the original Snow White as outdated and unimportant. This is not the first time a Hollywood star has faced backlash for controversial remarks. Brie Larson faced similar backlash while advertising Captain Marvel, since her focus on feminist causes divided audiences and hurt the film's reception. Zegler's remarks, however, have gone farther, leading some to question why Disney chose her to portray a princess with such a deep connection to the past and nostalgia. Social media was enraged by the Snow White 2025 trailer's radical departure from the original narrative, which was lambasted by fans. The seven dwarfs were now shown as a diverse group of individuals, and many thought that Snow White's updated past was unnecessary.
Policies hurt shareholders. In new SEC filing, Disney is now admitting that it's been slapped by its own customers for its far-left social and political.
When fans expecting the traditional plot, they were met with what they saw as forced modernism. The commotion was comparable to the reaction to The Little Mermaid 2023 teaser, which included contentious debates on casting choices and modifications. Despite the fact that both productions aimed to promote inclusion, viewers felt that the messages were overshadowing the story's magical qualities. Disney's reputation for controversial remakes is further exacerbated by fans who wonder whether nostalgia is being sacrificed for commercial gain. Disney's focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DIY, has elicited mixed reactions, especially when it seems that the essence of a story is being lost. Critics argue that the drive for representation in Snow White 2025 overshadowed the original plot, with changes that seemed to be made more to meet quotas than to honor the beloved classic. The effort by Warner Brothers to diversity the cast for the Velma remake was also criticized for prioritizing message above storyline.
Face it, Disney is not unique in this dilemma. So many studios are facing the same problems, and the lens has just been focused on Disney for some very understandable reasons.
Supporters contend that although representation is important, it should complement authenticity rather than take its place. As Snow White strayed more and more from the simple, beloved traditional story, these concerns only made fans more irritated. Disney has already spent a staggering $300 million on Snow White 2025, and that cost is increasing significantly now that reshoots are an option. There are concerns about whether the investment will ever be recovered, since these last-minute alterations are expected to cost an additional $10 to $15 million. The situation is similar to the financial debacle of John Carter 2012, a very costly movie that left Disney reeling when it failed to engage audiences. Disney's marketing ambitions might be completely destroyed if Snow White fails, since unsold action figures, dolls, and clothing will be stacked high in warehouses. In addition to the immediate expenses, this mistake could damage confidence in Disney's long-term strategy and endanger the company's once reliable live-action remake formula. Disney's marketing approach for the 2025s appeared to intensify the criticism at every stage, with posters and trailers highlighting the alterations to the Seven Dwarfs and Snow White's backstory. This gave viewers the sense that the studio was more focused on furthering its goals than honoring the classic. This is comparable to Ghostbusters' marketing disaster in 2016, when fan objections were dismissed as sexist, alienating the core fan base. Disney's marketing made people more annoyed rather than happy, making the movie a symbol of unwanted change. Rachel Zegler's own polarizing remarks about the original Snow White, together with the film's dismal box office performance and her own problems with public opinion, created a storm that Disney was unable to stop. Modern adaptations occasionally fail to capture the magic of the originals, and Snow White 2025 seems to be no exception. Disney runs the risk of offending fans who value the original story's simplicity and familiarity by concentrating on changing key parts. This is similar to the 2019 version of Charlie's Angels' failure, which had a poor box office performance after updating its premise with contemporary themes but losing its audience connection. A story may become less entertaining and more like a lecture when the main points are obscured by changes. This has caused significant worries about the future of Disney's live-action Snow White remakes, placing pressure on upcoming films to steer clear of the same mistakes and turn off their devoted fan base. Disney is rushing to save Snow White 2025 via expensive reshoots and a total reorganization of its marketing staff as the backlash grows. These initiatives, made just months before the movie's premiere, are reminiscent of Sony's turmoil during the 2014 interview fiasco, when last-minute controversies brought about significant changes and uncertainty. While firing the marketing team feels like a band-aid fix for a bigger problem, the reshoots are a costly gamble that will add millions to an already bloated budget. These last-ditch efforts highlight Disney's difficulty changing its live-action approach. With Snow White turning into a warning about what not to do, the future of Disney's live-action division is in jeopardy, as fans become leery of remakes that prioritize contemporary messaging over storytelling. Due to her candid remarks about Snow White, Rachel Zegler's career has reportedly suffered as a result of many producers avoiding her. The repercussions from Katherine Heigl's public criticism of Grey's Anatomy and Knocked Up, which alienated both fans and industry insiders, is comparable to this dispute. In addition to infuriating viewers, Zegler's comments on the original Snow White's antiquated status have sparked doubts about her appropriateness for prominent roles. Even though she is still involved in the ongoing Snow White reshoots, her career path is unclear. Her participation in the reshoots is a crucial moment that could either save or jeopardize her Hollywood career, because the response to this film could define her reputation for years. Disney's troubles with Snow White 2025 could lead the firm to reassess its dependence on live-action remakes. Fans are getting tired with reboots that emphasize fresh message over the ageless appeal of the originals. The success of Frozen serves as a reminder that fresh, innovative story may appeal powerfully with people, delivering new cultural touchpoints without interfering with previous classics. While live-action adaptations have occasionally succeeded, the mounting criticism signals Disney may need to move toward inventing totally new plots to rebuild faith. This calamity may be a turning point, forcing the firm to balance innovation with nostalgia while learning to respect the essence of its valued tales in future undertakings. This calamity may be a turning point, forcing the firm to balance innovation with nostalgia while learning to respect the essence of its valued tales in future undertakings. What type of videos are you interested in watching on this channel? Tell us in the comment section below.